Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Genesis. Last time we kind of did a little bit of work over here, getting some more machines running, going, and kind of figuring out and playing around with the power just a little bit. For whatever reason, this block has decided after I restarted the game to do what it's supposed to do as far as things go, so it's not being glitchy. This one is still being glitchy because that's just, well, immersive engineering, and of course, is the way things work. So I have let this run for a little while just to see how well it would go. Of course, we're about down to whatever. The biggest problem that I can see so far already is that this does not shut off once this becomes full. Now, whether or not that's because maybe we have some leakages or something going on, I don't know. Again, new to the mod, not really worried about it. I think what we're going to have to start doing, however, is we're going to have to start looking at getting away from the general idea of what they're trying to have us do. I spent a fair amount of time digging. And I mean by digging, I'm like saying this chapter that we have next, we've got a few things we're going to have to, deal with. I went around just for the giggles and filled all of those things up full of crude oil, thinking that the best option is probably going to be we're going to need to process crude oil into the various things that we need using the refinery from Pneumaticraft. And then I got to digging through things. They give you the quest line in here. Where is it? Electrodynamic theory, I believe. There's two lines right here, and the reason why they've got this pointed back this direction is because of this little thing right here. This fluid mixer. In that fluid mixer, you can make biodiesel. Biodiesel. So either this biodiesel, which is Pneumaticraft repressurized, which again, they're kind of having you do a few things. You got to make ethanol and plant oil or vegetable oil, and depending on which one of these you use is depending on whether or not you can, which system and setup you want to go with. Now, I enjoy Pneumaticraft. I think it's a fun mod. I think it's a great idea, but the biggest problem with Pneumaticraft is getting it off the ground without driving yourself insane. And the biggest problem to do that is the point that you have to be able to make a reasonable amount of pressure quickly. And again, I'm still just kind of goofing. Just trying to see where and what things we can do differently or possibly make a change into how that they're doing this, to the point that I've looked at all of this stuff in here. There's no reason to do any of what they're showing us in here outside of if you really feel the need to do this so you can get this so you can get this, and this so you can get this, or this so that you can get the parts here, or this so you can get the parts here, or this so you can get the parts here. There's no reason, mainly because of the fact, or at least I should say mainly because there's no reason to really do this line, and there's no reason to use the Pneumaticraft version of biodiesel either, because it's going to be totally based around pressure. Once again, all around pressure, which means you're going to have to try to figure out how to make fuel pressure or whatever, pressure out of fuel or pressure out of, this over here. Well, if you just do the thing that I was kind of thinking here, especially for the oil, let's just say this. You don't need to go get crude oil. And here's why. If you take biodiesel, generally the reason why you're going to want to refine things with the refinery is so that you can step your way up to at least diesel so that you can make lubricant wherever it is. Hang on a second. This stuff right there. Now, biodiesel, all three types, or say diesel and the two different types of biodiesel will all be capable of making lubricant. Lubricant's a really handy thing. It'll allow you to do some very nice stuff as far as making drills, or you can sell it for inert crystals. Or if you, I think it's in here somewhere, wherever it is, a bucket of the stuff, bucket of lubricant, makes speed upgrades, right? Speed upgrades, these right here. So lubricant, some sugar, and 4 of these deals, or some lapis, whichever way you want to say, will make this. So sure. And then you get this one. This is a really good idea too. This is really neat. This is really nice. But then if you just click up here on a metallurgic infuser, you give a little bit of redstone to one of these upgrade matrices, you get a speed upgrade, which pretty much negates the entire need for Pneumaticraft fluids, period. The reason why I'm going to say that is that the plastic that we're going to need to be able to make these circuits and whatnot is going to have to be produced through the industrial foregoing method for this little thing right here. These guys. You know, that stuff right there. So the capacitors and the transistors and the MT PCBs, which I'm glad we get 3. That's a really nice little deal. That's very cool. This plastic, the plastic that is from Pneumatic Craft, is not used. You can't make it. So there's no point in even bothering with any of their fluids if you can just get around the couple of little things that you need to do. So at that point in time, again, there's no point in even bothering with it unless you feel like setting up a fluid drill and having it pump that stuff in. So what that means is we need to be looking at biodiesel, because biodiesel, at least at this point, is something we can do in-house with our plants that are sitting over there. So if I do this thing here, there's a difference. There's a fairly noticeable difference between this biodiesel from immersive engineering and this biodiesel from Pneumatic Craft. So let's click on this one here very quickly. It's made in a fluid mixer. Again, we can do either way. It doesn't really matter. The steps to this point to get to this particular biodiesel can be either or. So you can either use, again, vegetable oil, plant oil, vegetable oil, plant oil, so immersive engineering or Pneumatic Craft. In here, it's ethanol, immersive engineering ethanol, or electrodynamics ethanol. The hard part, again, is going to be deciding, do you want to spend all of your time trying to build pressure to be able to craft everything that you want? Or do you want to use one little final machine here to get the stuff? So if I click on, of course, that's the old refinery. There is nothing in here. I said, unless I haven't tested it yet. I don't know. But unless they're blocking us from being able to form these multi-blocks, then there's absolutely no reason to play with Pneumatic Craft, because I can use this biodiesel in that thing instead of using this process, because this process, if I click on ethanol, wait for it to go around there, that ethanol is there's an extra step on top of this process, to mind the fact that it also requires pressure and heat, meaning I'm going to have to heat that thing just a little bit to make it work. It's going to need some kind of a thing that is going to be capable of being making into, whatever, which, sugar is a pretty interesting thing, and so is, melon slices. But it also needs yeast cultures. Yeast cultures means you have to grow, not only do you have to grow the food that you want to put in there to be able to make the ethanol, but you also have to grow mushrooms to be able to make a yeast culture so that you can add that to your thing. And again, this thermopneumatic processing plant will require heat and pressure. It's a process and a problem and all of those kinds of things. Thermopneumatic processing plant, thermogenerated thermopneumatic processing plant. Again, not really expensive except for the simple fact that they don't tell you need some things to make this work. First off, it's going to need a vortex tube or a fire, something to warm it up. Second of all, it's going to need thermal lagging, which is going to keep the pressure or the temperature inside the block. And third, of course, pressure, which means I've got to be able to produce the pressure without blowing things up. Once we get everything done, set down and done and making, fuels and whatnot, that's not a big deal, because then we can use a fuel generator. Let me see, compressor, this compressor or this compressor, either one of those two. Then you can start pumping fluids that you get from the whole system into one of those. You can then burn that and use it to make power. It's positive. It's fluid positive. You will eventually be able to accumulate enough of your fluids to be able to move things forward. But here's the thing. Do I really need, and this is what I'm going to say, do I really need the LPG, the kerosene, and anything else? So if we click over here, do I need to make kerosene? Do I need to make gasoline? And do I need to make LPG fuels? So if you click on these, right, there is no use outside of this other than to move to the next level of thing or for trading. So again, you're going gasoline into LPG, blah, 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 blah. The issue is that as you go down the line, you lose material. If you notice, it's a 20 millibucket loss on material from the point that you get from diesel, should say, here to there. So if you can make a lot of diesel, and for that matter, a lot of biodiesel, then there's no real reason to even go past any of this, because of the fact that thing and these little engines right here, probably going to be our best deal until we can build a reactor of some semblance, are going to be our power generation going forward. So why would I bother with this mess at all? Well, used to be you had to have LPG to make plastic. We don't need LPG to make plastic. So why am I caring about that? What it's going to be doing, at least for now, where is the thing? I think I can do this from here. There. At least for now, it's going to be just the crafting that we're going to use with the pressure chamber, and then eventually the crafting that will come with the little automated arms and the drill and all of those kinds of things. So I think, again, what we do is we sit down and try to make as much biodiesel as we possibly can, pump it into those guys, convert that into whatever type of energy we need, move it over here if we need to for some pressurization, and then go past that and forget that the rest of this chapter exists. There's no reason at all to do any of this. Now, we're probably going to need to build a thermopneumatic processing plant for some of the other things because there are a few recipes that I'm going to have to look at. But as far as even for that matter, the lubricant, I can do that with Mekanism. The one thing you're going to use that for outside of building a better drill, which I don't really care about, the speed upgrades are the only reason why I would think about making lubricant, and I can do that with Mekanism. So yeah, we're kind of past that point. There's no reason to do this. There's no reason to finish this section down here. So I think we're going to continue on after we've had a little bit of a ramble and discussion. I'm going to kind of step away from technology, I think, for just a little bit. I've had a little bit of fun. I think I've read a couple of other things that I've found, or at least recently here, that I'm interested in doing, and I will start to work on that kind of stuff off camera. It's one of those kinds of deals where power generation is something that you can do as a person that wants to play however you want to play. Sadly, again, we can't build a diesel generator, so I can't do it the way that I would normally do it. And these are okay. I mean, again, it's out of power, and I guess this doesn't leak. I don't know. It sat there and ran the whole time and didn't bother to deal with anything. So it's an interesting mod. We shall see how it goes. We need to kind of take a step back, I believe, and maybe start looking at some of this stuff. I've already found one of these. I ran by it. I didn't claim it, and I should have claimed it, or at least I should have claimed it. But the interesting thing in here is I was having an issue trying to figure out how I was going to get enough elemental shards to be able to craft some of the materials that we're going to need. And then I ran by this one and realized that the resource that they're going to give us, or I should say the reward, is the resource we need in order to be able to do the job. So we need to go find the earth source, and we need to go find the air source so we can go ahead and craft the other two of these so that I can then start talking about all of this stuff. Soon as we get some of these seeds going, especially the experience seeds or the nature seeds or some of these other ones like that, we're going to need to get those going because we're going to have to be able to make some we're going to have to make a bunch of stuff fairly soon regardless. So I think our next step, seriously, is to get back into farming, and I'll just kind of figure out what I want to do with this. Again, it's kind of one of those, I spent a good several hours today digging through JEI, and seeing what was going on. So let's go take a nap. If we don't need to. No, we don't. Okay. Go outside. Where are we? Okay, we have the day. Just don't want to stand over there. So let's go find this stuff, because this is going to be how we're going to be able to make these. Find the earth source, add a waypoint, and find the air source, add a waypoint, and where are they? Oh yeah, I found a skeleton spawner over there I'm going to have to go deal with. So you're going to say earth elements over there. Where's the other one? Right here. Oh yeah, the air element is right here. I remember walking by it. It's way up in the air, too. Okay, good. Got that one. And then the earth element. Let me go get that. And there is that one right there. Ding, ding. Have some food. Let's just do the deal. That's the only problem about having that crown is that you can really cover distance, but it sure chews through your food. So, all right, those are done, found, and figured. Let's go ahead, claim those. Check mark. Go. Thank you very much. Go. Thank you very much. That will allow us, now that we know where these are, we'll be able to come back with the thing. I'll probably have to go make stuff. We'll be eventually able to move them anyway, so it's no real huge deal. Where is the last one? Over there. Okay, let me go get that one, and then we can move on. Alrighty then, there goes the blue one, the water source. Lovely. Okay, click and do the stuff. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to understand that we can craft and or do a few things with these. They figured out how to synthesize these. Has been lost to us, but we're hoping you'll be able to rediscover the process. For now, we'll just give enough to reserve a bunch of stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. And I think this is going to be a pain. The receptacle might be the one that's the furthest away. However, it's like I think this is the furthest away one. I know that like there's two of them right there, but like that fire one that they sent us clear over there to go look at, I'd already found another one right here. I think is what this. Come on, jump up over. Let's go. Come in. Come in. Come in. Come in. Over here, up on the hill, and we're gonna have to go inside here pretty soon. There's a fire one right here. So I don't need to worry so much about that as far as being clear the heck and gone way over there. So we have one here, one here, one here. I think they're all pretty much. And then that one over there. So we have all four of them within a quick run from the front of the base, which isn't awful. And I guess it's raining or it looks pretty ugly or whatever. Let's get inside before we get eaten. So I think we'll probably, since it's the furthest away, take the water one, but I'm going to have to think about that a minute. The receptacles are very handy for things, and I think if I recall correctly, you're not hard to make. Receptacle, source displacement, pristine gem. Yeah, so I should say not hard to make. They're pretty hard to make. So it might be a thought to take the one that's going to be the furthest away from us. Let's go sleep before we get too stuck. Okay, so if we look at that, synthetic nodes. I think you want the water one because we need to be able to make drenched iron ingots pretty quickly, right? These things. Ouch. Sure, so we'll take the water source. Thank you. Now, theoretically, technically, I should say theoretically, technically, this is a node. That's a node. We can place it down, and it will allow us to be able to use it eventually. That's about all the further I wanted to go with those. The next step I think I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get those seeds crafted that we needed these two particular things for, and then we can start playing around with some more stuff like that. So let me do that real quick, and we should be able to move on. And ding. All right, there we go. Those are the two seeds ready to go on that part of it, sprouting new life. We now have a bunch of stuff and 5 pieces of supremium farmland, which is going to be very, very helpful. With that, we can then take just about any one of these new seeds that we're going to be getting with mystical agriculture and grow them to a reasonable, respectable thing using this kind of stuff. That stuff will go really fast. We can use that, for that matter, in these garden cloches that we currently have sitting right here to actually, like I said, accentuate this so that we don't have to do this anymore and be able to automate the process. So maybe, I was going to say maybe we slow down somebody's stuff right here. I don't want to do that. Let's move it over here and see what we can do about this. Boink. Why is that off like that? Whatever. Whatever. Anyhow. Do something like that, and then yeah, we can just go ahead and say like this, and then like that, and then give it some power, some water, and then that will automatically do what we need it to do for right now. However, I'm not going to worry about them again right now. It's not a big deal. We'll probably just spend a little bit more time again on another episode. I keep saying that. I know. I apologize. I'm just kind of looking at a few things with this pack, trying to figure out just exactly how much work we have to do to be able to get through to some stuff, and understanding that a lot of this is just crafting. Looking at the Project Genesis deal, we need to start looking at something like this, which is why I was going to say we need to start paying attention to the next step. So we can go ahead and click this and say, yeah, we understand. Essentially what this means is there's a diversion of the chapters you can and should explore to continue expanding your vault infrastructure. With that in mind, one of the next major milestones will be obtaining titanium. Well, that's going to be fun. That means we can then start talking about stuff like this. So that's going to be the solar gem. You should be able to craft Terra Steel, some to build Elven Gateway, trade for Honey Essence. If we can trade Honey Essence, then we can then start messing with bees. And I don't know whether or not that's going to be something I'm going to really massively jump right into, or maybe what we should be doing is coming up here so that we can do some more of this stuff. This alloyer that they're talking about, for one, it does run at 960 volts, which is going to be an interesting thing and do a couple of the stuff. We'll be able to get to osmium. However, again, I don't know. I think maybe the thing that I need to be doing right now while we're just kind of sitting here paying attention to it is I need to go ahead and get into a metallurgic infuser. Metallurgic infuser. Oh, it's two L's. There you go. That guy right there. We can craft this. We have aluminum. We have the ability. So let's make a couple of these. And if we do this, that should, again, kind of do some of the stuff that we want to do. And yeah, metal hot, yeah, sure. The thing with the metallurgic infuser, I'm wondering, actually, will it connect and get, can I please place something where I'm looking? Thank you. All right, so this now has power, which means I've just negated the need for this thing. We can get rid of it because we can now make steel using that process. So if I take a little bit of coal, and a little bit of coal and a little bit of iron. So we'll grab a piece or two. We'll just grab a few pieces of iron there. And then if we do the old goodness, which is, I think, just that, go ahead and put like 2 more of those in there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. That will make the refined, whatever it is, enriched iron, which we'll let that roll for a second so that it finishes these. And that used all that up. We take that again and put it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 once again. I know that's a lot of coal for what it gives you, but coal's pretty cheap, easy to get a hold of in the nether, so it's not like it's a big deal. That will make steel dust that we can then just do that old trick down there differently, or we can do an energized smelter, energized alloyer. So I take these, I grab a little bit of sand, which we should have some. I made a bunch. We put that in this, and that will make the steel, which is a heck of a lot easier and a heck of a lot faster than playing with that thing. So that's cool. There's also a few other things we can do with this thing to be able to make things happen. And for that matter, because I have access to that reasonably quick steel there, we can for sure, and I mean for sure, make our universal cables a heck of a lot more usable, and we don't have to worry about this stuff because I don't have a problem burning lots and lots and lots of steel on those things. This right here, not too terrible. Plus, I mean, if you just go ahead and do the next level of things, you get a bunch of stuff. So we can make those advanced cables right now. Again, we're just going to kind of keep doing what it takes to get some stuff moving forward, but I'm just going to kind of, I need to sit down and spend a lot of time, I guess, just making a bunch of light duty random materials so that we can kind of just get away from some of these harder to do deals. So I think looking at that, that should be what we need to do for right there for now. So again, we're just kind of all over the place, a little bit of a discussion as far as power and whatnot is concerned. I guess I can just go ahead and grab a bucket of this stuff and maybe just give me this. What did I do? Interesting. No idea what that was about, but I should just be able to do something like this. I think the input is back there. Do I have fluid pipe? Pipe. I don't have any pipe. That. Thank you very much. And then I believe the back is there. Yeah, and then I can just have it pump out of there into there for now. Again, I don't really know if there's no electrical, there's no redstone control on this as far as I know. I mean, I think we have do I have a lever I can play with? Let's see. Do you stop? No, you just keep burning no matter what. Okay, well, that's good to know. We'll let you charge your battery up. We'll go from there. And I'm not going to enable that unless I think I need to. That's just perfectly fine for the moment. Can I? Nope, 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 nope. That wrench is just good for one thing and one thing only. Cool. All right. Alrighty, well, looking around and trying to figure out some of the rest of this stuff. I know this is going to be another one of those episodes, and I apologize. I've spent way too much time digging through JEI trying to figure out what it is I want to do as a player, and so I'm having to kind of rein myself back in and do a couple of things here and there. So again, apologies for the kind of just random all over the place. This pack is not grabbing me. I will say this right now. It's not grabbing me the way some of the other packs have grabbed me. It's not I don't know. There's just something going on about it that I'm just not finding amazing just yet. So we'll have to kind of keep working through that and working around it. And if we need to, we'll just go ahead and find something else to do. But I want to kind of move forward. Again, nothing's stopping us from playing with things. So they're telling us, again, that if we want to be able to do some stuff, we probably need to be looking at going into biotechnology and getting some more of this chapter going. Which means we're going to need to build or hand in a bunch of this stuff so that we can kind of get this, and then we need to be able to craft a mana pool, which is a diluted pool. We finally have all the stuff we can do this for, so probably what I need to do in between episodes is craft another pure daisy, one of these guys, and get to crafting on making some stuff over there for the living rock, the living wood, stuff like that we're going to need. And then we can move forward into that chapter, I think, quite a way. So I think that's what we'll do next time. We'll just jump into biotechnology. We'll see how much of this we can get done. I'm a little concerned that these are going to be incredibly slow, and in which case we're probably going to need a dozen of them, but we'll find out. So I guess until then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see what we can't come up with, and hopefully we can kind of pick up the pace a little bit, because again, this is kind of just one of those packs that's just, it is what it is, I suppose. I will try to work that out, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.